PathMonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathMonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with the relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add PathMonk to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us out at pathmonk.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Christina O'Reilly. They're from Pythian, Senior Vice President of Marketing. How are you doing today, Christina?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And I'm sure our listeners are tuning in, wondering what Pythian is all about. So Christina, in your own words, tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely. So Pythian is a global data and analytics services provider that we offer full spectrum of services across data, analytics, AI, cloud, and infrastructure. We have over 26 years experience and 400 customers globally. And we help with customers understand that organizations face all data stages. Like they have so many different data lifecycle stages, and we help them achieve the most out of their data. And sometimes it's not a clear path forward to how do you achieve that, right? Either they have fragmented data silos, complex legacy systems, and where does AI fit in all of this, right? So we work with our customers to help them maximize the capabilities and the strengths of their data and analytics.
Yeah, so, all right, great to hear that. So then, and so that way our listeners could get a good understanding there of Pythian and Christina there. What would you say is that key problem that you guys like to solve for clients?
So at the end of the day, we provide that clarity and that support to understand how to meet certain needs within the organization, whether it's strategy and planning or data governance gaps. They may have compliance and database security issues, or they're trying to wrangle a database migration or modernization project, right? We provide the insights behind the scenes and the strategy and the direction to help support that. It truly is an end-to-end portfolio of services that we offer and problems that we solve for.
Definitely. All right, great. And so then on that note, then is there a vertical segment? Is there an ideal ICP that Pythian likes to go for?
We have a diverse customer base. It ranges from retail, e-commerce, media, telco, entertainment, financial services, SaaS and technology companies, all the way to manufacturing, transportation. At the end of the day, data problems, data and analytics problems exist across all industries, not just a particular vertical.
I would totally agree with that. And so then how would somebody then usually find out about Pythian? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
Great question. I think you can find us in many places, obviously through the traditional norms, such as Google Ads and LinkedIn. We do a lot of reach out there. We work with a lot of industry SMEs or subject matter experts, specialists, industry analysts. And so we really do provide that comprehensive view. And so really at the end of the day, it's really about, we go where our customers are going, right? We try to follow them, and so that we are alongside with them on their journey.
Really important. Okay, great. And so that way our listeners who are tuned in could go ahead and visit you guys. They could always check you out at pythian.com. What role does the website play for client acquisition then, Christina?
That's a great question. A website can have, depending on the journey, depending on the type, whether it's an existing customers or it's someone who's just searching us, it plays multiple roles and functions. For us, today's customer and prospect have developed a level of maturity before they get to your website, right? They'll do their homework, they'll do their research, they'll talk to their peers to understand, have you heard of Pythian? Our website right now is really meant, and I chuckle because we're literally in the midst of a website migration and upgrade. So literally in the next couple of weeks, you'll see a whole new version of our site. But it's meant to serve two functions. One, inform, educate. We have a massive following around our blogs. So there's a lot, our website right now gets a lot of traffic due to our subject matter experts internally who blog a lot. So it's served as a source of information validation. Also, the content we try to serve up on our website is meant to inform, educate, answer questions, validate what the information that they've been trying to source. Hopefully that makes sense.
It does. So then a little bit on the website, and so that way our listeners can get some tools or tips or methods or recommendations from you. What would you recommend them as far as some website lead generation?
What would I recommend for a tool?
Yeah, a tool, some tip, some methods.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think the number, so it's great. Again, it's almost like you teed up these questions for what we're working on our end. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that the content matches what you're putting out outside of your website, whether it's AdWords, whether it's LinkedIn retargeting, there needs to be that symmetry. And also pay attention to the content you're putting out there. A lot of people have little tolerance for fluff, so to speak. It's all about where are the proof points, where are the outcomes, who are the customers that you have that can help solve that so they can help understand the end result and the business outcomes that you're driving. So limit making sure that the content is on point, making sure your content is optimized. The biggest thing that I would say is your website should not be a one and done. Your website should be part of your integrated marketing strategy, and that you're always revisiting multiple times throughout the year, whether it's once a year, twice a year, every quarter. But content needs to be refreshed constantly. Technology and advancements in technology and AI alone is moving so quickly that you need to make sure that your content is following alongside. So for us, our strategy with our website is to make sure that it's going to be part of our extended arm of our marketing strategy. It's not a one and done. It needs to be touched consistently. And then making sure that you're able to personalize the experience as much as possible when your end user arrives to your site. So what does that mean from an AI standpoint? So those are some of the things that I would take into consideration.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And well, let's switch gears a little bit then, Christina, and let's talk about you as a leader. You being the Senior Vice President of Marketing there for Pythian, what are some key tasks you like to focus on your day-to-day work?
Great question. I think the number one thing lately is making sure I'm not the roadblock. And making sure that, when my team needs things of me, that I don't end up roadblocking them, so to speak. When you have a large team, it sometimes can be a challenge. And then the other thing is on that vein is checking in on the team and making sure they have everything they need to do their jobs. Are they equipped? What are their roadblocks? And that's really how I view an approach from a day-to-day standpoint.
All right, perfect. And in those between times when you do have some time available, how do you stay up to date with all the marketing news, trends, strategies? Is there a preferred channel that you like to go with?
I think newsletters are still one of my, maybe I'm old school, but newsletters is still one of my great sources of information. It comes right to your inbox. There's literally no reason not to, go out there. And there's some fantastic newsletters. The other one that LinkedIn is probably my other source of information just to stay up to date. And a lot of great content and a lot of great leaders out there that are sharing their approaches, their ideas, their strategies. So I think those would be my two top sources of content source information.
All right, great. That way our listeners could go ahead and, I listen to, I have a lot of newsletters signed up.
Podcasts, I have to add that in there.
Thanks for that. Yeah, well, let's jump into our next section then here, Christina, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
I think so.
All right, perfect. First off then is, what is the last book that you read?
Ooh, okay. Can I give you two? Because I sometimes read two at the same time. So the last book I read on the business strategy front is called Extreme Ownership. It's how U.S. Navy SEALs lead and win. I thought that was a really great, I just found it a great analogy of how you take ownership and leadership to the next level. On the personal side, I am a little bit of a sci-fi trilogy. So I was reading Rebecca Ross's Divine Rivals, and I do love Kate Quinn. So anything from Kate Quinn is up my alley.
Yeah, all right, great read there for our listeners. Next up then is, what is one single thing that Pythian is focused on at the moment the most?
Oh, from a marketing standpoint?
As a company, what would you say?
Okay, that's a great question. I think for us, it's really, we've got a couple of things. Number one is we're really trying to work alongside our customers to help enable them from a Gen AI or an AI standpoint, right? And it really starts with, how do you get your data estate in order? How do you wrangle all your data silos? How do you handle all your fragmented data in order for you to achieve that AI utopia that everyone's talking about? So that would be one of the areas where we're really tripling down and focusing on is how do we help our customers get their data estate in a state, if I could say, where they can start utilizing and getting those outcomes and those insights and start applying some of the new and greatest technologies that are coming down from an AI standpoint. That would be one of them. From a marketing standpoint, I think one of the things that we're trying to do is really help be that single source of truth for our customers and prospects. So our job is to really communicate some of the great things that our customers are doing and really working aside our SMEs to help educate and share some of our knowledge that we have within the company. We have over 420 employees globally. We've got a lot of great subject matter experts across the team that do spend a lot of time sharing their knowledge, but it's our job to make sure that it gets amplified and shared across the globe.
Definitely important. Love that. And what you just mentioned, right? You're there to amplify it. So that's great to hear. So then if there would be no boundaries in technology, Christina, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
I think any company, regardless of whether or not you're a data and analytics actual company, service provider like ourselves, or you're retail or manufacturing, I think data is the fundamentals of making sure that there is seamless and accurate cross-platform data integration. We get data from across so many different tools and technologies, and how do you integrate that seamlessly so that you can leverage it and give you those insights that you need? So there needs to be that unified, and maybe it's AI, right? That unified system that's really helping to consolidate data from various sources. Like, think about it from a marketing standpoint. I read somewhere that today's CMO has just as much of a technology stack than today's CTO or CIO, if you look at it. Maybe my CTO would disagree with me on that one, my Chief Technology Officer, but we gather data from so many different sources, and it's how do you wrangle that? How do you consolidate that, right? And that for me would be the what ifs, if I could go back in time. And that's.
Love that answer. That next is, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
That's a great question. Your timing is impeccable because we all just came back from Google Cloud Next in Las Vegas. And guess what? I'm now in expense world. So if I could automate that somehow, all of the expenses. That being said, I think it would be, how does marketing handle and reconcile customer and prospect data from our CRM system more effectively, more efficiently? We're now bringing in additional AI tools to help us with that. But I think that is our focus moving forward, is how do you marry some of that data and how do you, siphon it and how do you understand it? That's the big thing with data, is not just, we all have access to a mouthful of data, but how do you interpret it? And how do you apply those interpretations to, amplify and maximize your efforts? And for us, that's where we are right now, is how do we understand that and how do we apply that in our marketing campaigns and efforts?
Definitely. All right. Great to hear that. And well, lastly, Christina, you have tons of experience already in the marketing world, but what is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Can I give you two? I know you said one, but I think there's two here. I think the first one, thanks. I think the first one, continuing on the data theme, I worked with a lot of startups as well as enterprise organizations. And at the end of the day, as a marketer, we always know that data is invaluable and data is important. But I think truly honing in on that, on making sure that your data set is as clean as possible from the beginning. And I think with the advent and the introduction of so many new technologies and tools, I think it's now more so important to really, truly not just gather the data, but making sure you understand how to apply the data. So your analytics side of it is important. The second one is on the more of the personal side. And I think as a leader, I do a lot of mentoring outside of my organization and obviously my own team. And one advice I would have is for up and coming marketers is lean in, trust your gut, and take advantage of as much training that your organization or the free training that's out there, because technology is only going to get faster and faster and faster. And so it's going to shift very quickly. And so being on top of this, of AI and all these new advents of technology is really critical for today's marketer.
I definitely would agree. And well, big thank you so much for sharing those advices here with us and for our listeners. And well, Christina, we are coming to the end of the show, but before we do end, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about Pythian?
The one thing I would say for Pythian is that we really truly work with our customers to help them understand the nature of their data estate and really help amplify their efforts. And we are the leaders in so many different areas, whether it's database modernization, whether it's analytics, whether it's AI, whether it's cloud. We are here to help them with their data estate journey.
Whether you guys heard it from Pythian, you can visit them at pythian.com. Christina, thank you so much for being on with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at PathMonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Christina.
My pleasure.